f6, and we have the London system. Gukesh thinks for a bit, calms down, pushes his pawn and brings his bishop out. He trades it, queen takes, have to be careful for check here. e6, he's okay with giving up that pawn, but Arjun doesn't go for it. Knight d7, castles, and now pawn pushes forward to c5. c3 played, the bishop comes out, the knight develops, you castle, pawn to h3, h6. See both the players moving very quickly out of the opening. They just have a playable position here which is equal in nature. But e4, slightly dubious decision here by Arjun, because now he's going to be left with an isolated pawn. He can push his pawn forward, but then he's a bit worried about knight h5 move. So he takes, knight takes, queen takes, and now knight f6, but the b7 pawn is hanging, so you have to be careful here. Gukesh thinks for a bit about what needs to be done here. He plays his pawn to b5. d5 would have been a nice move here, but knight f6 hits the queen as well as the pawn, so it's not possible here. He goes bishop e5. And let's see how Gukesh continues. He may want to put his knight on the d5 square. That's exactly what he does. And Arjun brings the rook, threatening bishop c7, but the knight sits in. Now, black has a good position here, just what Gukesh needed in this must-win game. Knight d2 played. Slowly, he can start putting pressure. Rook c8 is a good move. Bishop g5 played. Queen g4. The idea could be h4, putting pressure down to the g7 pawn. He goes queen d7, and now h4, bishop f6, and knight e4 could be a nice way to continue as white, but he goes queen g3, and Gukesh pushes the bishop away with f6. There's pressure down here. You can't go back, so you have to go to c7 or d6. In fact, d6 much better. Then you can put your bishop here, but he goes to c7. That's not a good move because rook can come in now. He goes rook c8, and if you move the bishop, I can take and pick up the knight. So maybe you have to go to a5. He does it, but with a5, take, rook takes, b4, suddenly the knight is hanging. It's pinned here. The bishop's path is blocked. The bishop could also get trapped. Arjun Erigaisi in big trouble here. Queen d3 played, but now just queen b5 would be very solid. He goes queen a4, which is also strong, attacking the bishop and the pawn. Arjun is almost lost here. He loses the exchange. He takes the pawn, threatening to take on e6. Maybe knight f4 is just winning completely here. But Gukesh thinks for a bit. He has enough time. He comes back queen d7. Arjun takes back the exchange, but Gukesh is still completely winning. Queen f1 played. Now can you come in with the queen inside in the position? Yes, he does. Gukesh does feel a little bit underconfident after having lost a couple of games in Bullet, but this one is for him to win. He would then narrow down the score to just 2 points difference. Queen takes d4 is hanging. He can take the queen as well, but he takes the pawn. Queen e1, attacking the pawn on e6. He goes knight f4, good move. And now he goes a3 at just 2 seconds on the clock. Queen e3, play queen d1 and knight e2 to try and checkmate, but he exchanges the queen. And now this position is not that trivial to win because there are 2 pawns which are passed here. Bishop c3, he comes rook c5, knight b4. This is not easy. Gukesh has to start making his kingside pawns to roll. And Arjun is so good. He's just not letting Gukesh exchange off the pieces. King d3, f5. And he plays his knight back. Maybe wanting to start to push the queenside pawns with b4, a4. Gukesh has 10 seconds. He goes g5, b4 is played. Black is still winning, but it's not easy. f4 played. And look at Arjun's pawns. They seem much more flexible and free to move. b5. He goes rook c7. Now knight b4 coming into c6. He plays it. Beautiful chess there. Rook c1 and takes. He takes with the g pawn. Now Gukesh also has a passer, but the b pawn is tremendously strong. Now the a pawn is joining in. These pawns are queening. Rook a1 trying to stop the pawns. Bishop f2 would be very powerful, but he goes knight c6. Rook check. King goes back. Bring the king closer. No, he pushes his e pawn. Bishop comes to b4, attacking the knight. Now the knight jumps back, but can he push his b pawn? Yes, he does. King comes up, but makes a queen. He takes back from a completely winning position. Now it's equal. He attacks this, the bishop and the knight. Knight a6, the only move. Arjun finds it. Now king attacks here. Bishop goes back. Pawn coming to e3. Which pawn is stronger? King d3. Oh my goodness. Is the e pawn stronger or the a pawn? Knight d5 attacking here. And Arjun is happy with a draw for sure. Gukesh wants to win. And look at Gukesh there. He's like, what kind of resistance is this, Arjun? Down to 1 second. Oh, finds king e5. a6. He goes rook b3. And now knight b5 is winning. But he pushes a7. Rook comes back. And just rook a2. This is drawn now. But first bishop b4. Threatening knight a3. You have to go back rook a6. But he goes king e4. And now knight c3. Check would win the rook. But he goes knight a3. There's a check, check, check at a draw. But instead he goes king d3. Makes a queen because check would